My husband insisted on taking me to the desert for our honeymoon, with no water and no electricity. I desperately searched for water, only to stumble upon my husband and his first love, using the very last bucket of water to take a shower. I died a miserable death from severe heat and dehydration. Unexpectedly, I was reborn just before the apocalypse, exactly 5 days before. As soon as I opened my eyes, my scumbag husband threw the bedsheets in my face. I subconsciously touched my face. Smooth chic. A familiar living room. Least then, didn't I die of dehydration in the desert? Beside my ear was Mao Bufan's endless scolding. All you do is slack off. We've been married for 7.5 years, and you do nothing. Ryan's company has a luxury desert tour for only 100,000 yuan. You must transfer the money today. He wants me to pay to boost his first love sales performance. Oh, d'arrêt. I picked up my phone and checked the date. April 5th. Only 5 days left until the apocalypse. I looked at Mao Bufan. In me past life. Looked at me with cold disgust. The hatred of 2 lifetimes erupted. I backhanded him with a hard slap. He was completely stunned. After all, back then, I only fell for his handsome face. I provided for him for 7 years. He never earned a single penny. Yet, I never said a harsh word to him. I sneered, the house and the money are all mine. What gives you the right to order your sugar mommy around? Ensuez-moi. His face turned pale. Zhao, I am your husband. Soon, you won't be. Let's divorce. Just over a travel plan. Divorce, are you crazy? Yeah, wouldn't a divorce be letting him off to Italy? Thinking of what I suffered in my past life, I decided to play a good game with him. My expression instantly changed. I picked up the flyer, using a sweet tone. Honey? I was just being jealous earlier. But this accommodation is too poor. We must upgrade to the presidential suite and add a private butler. After speaking, Première directly entered the official website and upgraded the accommodation to the most luxurious package, including a private butler and an exclusive itinerary. His eyes lit up. He thought I had turned back into that love-struck fool. When it was time to pay, I suddenly covered my mouth. Oh, I forgot to change my phone. My card has reached its limit. We've been married for 7 years. It's time for my husband to contribute to this family, right? His face instantly turned darker than the bottom of a pot. But he still paid. I turned around and immediately called the travel agency, saying the luxury desert tour will depart tonight. And I specifically requested the private butler. Hanging up the phone, I dragged Mao Bufan to the supermarket. In name, it was to buy supplies for our luxury desert trip. In reality, it was to hoard goods for the extreme heat apocalypse coming in a few days. I abandoned my usual frugality and turned on shopping spree mode. Pure cotton towels, high-end toiletries, and toilet paper filled the cart. I even bought a large, inflatable pool and a luxurious waterbed. Honey. Let's get these sun protection gears and some camisoles, otherwise. Without these things, Mao Bufan, you wouldn't even think about going to the desert. But he must be the one to pay the bill. Watching his face get uglier, with every swipe of his card. I felt incredibly satisfied. We wandered around for a whole 2 hours. I perfectly avoided all the food and drink aisles. Honey? Let's save our appetite to eat the local specialties in the desert. His face darkened even more. Heartbroken over the money, we're just getting started. The real show is yet to come. On the way home, the temperature outside was extremely hot. Fortunately, there was AC in the car. I casually mentioned, honey. Our villa at home. Haven't you always wanted to add your name to the deed? His ears immediately perked up. I continued, setting the trap. Why don't we sell it and buy a luxury penthouse in the city center? We'll put both our names on the new deed. What do you think? As soon as I finished, he sharply turned his head to look at me. His eyes were full of undisguised ecstasy and greed. Ha ha ha, honey. Of course. You're so good to me. I knew you loved me the most. He had been eyeing my villa for a long time. In our 7 years of marriage, he had hinted, demanded, acted spoiled, and thrown tantrums, trying every trick to get me to add his name to the property. But I never gave in. Today, he thought he was finally getting his way. He immediately made a U-turn and headed straight to the real estate agency. I conveniently picked out a top-floor luxury penthouse. He couldn't wait to drain his savings, paying the deposit and down payment. He urged the agent to list my villa at the lowest price for a quick sale. Honey, when we get back from our honeymoon, we'll move into our new home. Back at home, I played the good wife, volunteering to help him pack his luggage. Water, food, medicine. He, none of that. Essuie-case was stuffed with brand new designer suits, a bunch of luxury ties, and high-end leather shoes. I loved them, are the most useless things in extreme heat. After all, if he's going to the desert to die, he should at least look decent, right? Because I knew very well, the only one embarking on that deadly desert trip would be him alone. Sure enough, when we arrived at the airport that evening, an accident happened. Ryan, stop crying. So what if the ticket was booked wrong? What does that mean? In the airport, my husband in name, Mao Bufan, was using a gentle tone I had never heard before, softly comforting Ryan in his arms. I suddenly remembered what he used to say. I hate the color pink the most. It's tacky, but now, Ryan was dressed in pink from head to toe. Even that eyesore of a suitcase was a glaring shade of pink. Bufan. I'm sorry. I accidentally forgot to book Sister Yi's ticket. The flight is fully booked. What should we do? It's fine, it's just a small matter. Ryan was crying beautifully like a pear blossom in the rain. Mao Bufan gently patted her back, his tone full of absolute indulgence. Then he finally looked at me, his eyes carrying a commanding look. Xiaoye. Don't blame Ryan. Don't be so petty. The flight is full. There's nothing we can do. You go back home first. And come join us when there's a ticket. Eh. What a familiar scene. What classic lines. In my past life when Ryan. Being so intimate with my husband Mao Bufan. I directly got physical with them. As a result, Mao Bufan desperately protected his first love. To the airport security that rushed over. He accused me of losing control of my emotions and making a scene out of nothing. I was taken away for interrogation in public, losing all my dignity. Living this life again. I felt too dirty to even give them a second glance. Finn. You guys have fun. I decisively turned around and walked out without looking back. Behind me, Mao Bufan froze for a moment, subconsciously wanting to chase me. But Liu Ryan pulled him back. Bufan. The plan. It's about to take off. His footsteps indeed stopped. And I never looked back. Before I even stepped out of the airport doors, I called the real estate agent. That rural house in the suburbs with the water well. Have you contacted the owner? Mister, you're in great luck. The owner desperately needs cash and is planning to lower the price for a quick sale. I'll buy it. Full cash payment. Let's sign the contract and hand over the keys. Immediately, hanging up the phone, I rushed straight to the bank and withdrew all my savings. I had only one goal: to secure that rural house located between the mountain and the sea, the one that came with its own water well. My perfect fortress for the apocalypse. Evening. After the handover was completed, I got the red property ownership certificate. Première feltatise. I arrived at the rural house. Below the basement was an abandoned ancient well. But it still held plenty of water. I lowered the rope carefully, filled the bucket, and cupped a handful of the clear, cool well water to my mouth. So sweet, 72 hours countdown to the apocalypse. The first thing I did after being reborn was to take out a massive loan of 5 million. This suburban house had sturdy doors and windows and decent furnishings. Under the extreme heat, people would be drained of energy, so no one would come to make trouble. But it wasn't enough. I called the best interior renovation team in the city. Olduang. I'll send you the address. Convert the basement into an ice cellar. Section off a bedroom. And use the best materials. Money is not an issue. Miss. I can't finish it in 3 days. As long as the price is right. There's nothing that can't be done. Don't worry, I guarantee I'll build you an ice cellar. Hanging up the phone. One immediately ordered rooftop solar panels. The more, the better. The whole building needed top-tier thermal insulation during the renovation. I drove straight to the appliance store. In an extreme heat apocalypse, cold air is the most precious thing. Avis du tiers conditionné. I directly bought 6 units. Electric fan. Give me 100 of them. Fridges and freezers. Of course, the more the merrier. I plan to fill them with food and use them as storage. Just in case the power goes out. Holding onto frozen meat can physically cool me down, right? There's not much time left. An 80 degrees Celsius hell is approaching. The appliances were settled. Next was the key to survival. Hoarding supplies. At 80 degrees. Going outside is seeking death. All consumables must be prepared in one go. I went online and searched for doomsday survival guides. Netizens' imaginations were indeed much wilder than mine. Following their lists, I placed massive orders. Vacuum-packed rice, flour, and grains. I started with hundreds of pounds. Vegetables that are easy to store. Potatoes, onions, sweet potatoes, pumpkins, and winter melons were piled high. Also, dehydrated vegetables and freeze-dried foods filled half the warehouse. But the most crucial thing was water. Even with a well at home, it might not be safe under such extreme heat. Gritting my teeth, I bought 1,000 large jugs of purified water. Better to have too much than too little. The pharmacy was an even bigger priority. Trauma called Medis. Antibiotics and gastrointestinal meds. I bought 5 boxes of each to start. Heat stroke medicine and cooling gel patches. I directly emptied their shelves. Chrysanthemum. Honeysuckle. Peppermint. These cooling herbs were also bought by the box. Can't forget about feminine hygiene products. To avoid drawing attention, I specifically hired a moving company from a neighboring city to transport everything. The price was a bit steep, but it ensured utmost secrecy. Finally, I went to the home I had lived in with Mao Bufan for 7 years. I listed at form, set at the lowest price, with a special note, urgent sale, pick up yourself. I had workers dismantle all the air conditioners. Not a single one was left behind. I only installed a brand new whole house surveillance system. I made sure not even a single grain of rice was left. Okay, now. The door. I looked back at this. Formium. Now, it was just an empty shell. 48 hours countdown to the apocalypse. The sun was blindingly fierce. Tree leaves were baked dry like potato chips. The air was distorted by the heat. Just looking at it burned the eyes. The news was full of red heat warnings. April had turned directly into midsummer. It felt like glass would shatter in the heat. Meanwhile, I turned my AC to the max. A mango sundae in my left hand. A strawberry sundae in my right. It was blissfully freezing. Soudain lit, mi-fonnerant. It was Mao Bufan. Xiaoye. What the hell are you doing? It's deadly hot here in the desert. The hotel cut off the water and electricity. Why aren't you here yet? Same old trick. In the past, hearing him complain, my heart would ache and I'd immediately send money and book a ticket. Now, whatever oaths of eternal love you made, keep them. Now, I just tell him, suck it up, a grown man. Stop acting so fragile. If you have problems, find the tour guide. Or file a consumer complaint to 12,315. Why are you looking for me? The breathing on the other end grew heavier. Zhao, that incident at the airport. Haven't I explained it enough? Stop being so passive-aggressive. Are you ever going to drop it? Cut the crap and transfer 50,000 over right now. Or else, when I get back, we're divorcing. Divorce. I almost burst out laughing. Okay, let's do it immediately. I said those words crisply. Then smoothly blocked and deleted him in one go. The world was finally quiet. I looked up at the thermometer. Even though the sun had already set, it was actually 45 degrees outside. And the true apocalypse hadn't even begun yet. 5 hours countdown to the apocalypse. 7 p.m. The outdoor temperature had skyrocketed to 55 degrees. I locked the final door and window, getting ready to lie on my waterbed and enjoy the last bit of peace before the apocalypse. Suis dans lit, the phone blared. It was Mao Bufan. Xiaozi, you sold the villa. Where are you right now? They actually made it back just before the apocalypse hit. I immediately rushed to the security monitors. On the screen, Mo Ryan were standing in the empty living room. They were so drenched in sweat they looked like they had been fished out of the water. Liu Ryan was still putting on a show. Bufan. How could Sister the do this? She sold the house without a word. And even dismantled all the ACS. We're going to die of heat. After saying that, she swayed, pretending she was about to faint. Mao Bufan had no time to pay attention to her. He rushed into the kitchen, chugging from the tap like crazy, and stuck his head under the running water to cool off. Damn it, I actually forgot to cut off the water supply. On the monitor, he kept dialing my number over and over. His face getting uglier by the second. Liu Ryan clung to him again, fanning the flames. Sister, thee is too cruel. You two are husband and wife. Essa shooté up. Mao Bufan roared furiously. He took out his phone and clicked on an app. On the map, a red dot clearly marked my exact location. When did he install a tracker on me? He sneered at the surveillance camera. Xiaozi, so you won't answer my calls, huh? Just you wait, I'm coming for you right now. I glanced at the time. The 80-degree extreme heat would descend in exactly 4 hours. Enough to take their lives. But right now, I needed to stall them. I took a deep breath and dialed Mao Bufan's number. Let's talk. His bloodshot eyes stared dead at the camera. He waved his phone, showing the tracker location. Talk. Too late? Do you see this red dot? I'm coming to send you straight to hell. On the other end of the phone, the sound of a car engine started roaring. 3 hours later, under the 55-degree heat, sweating profusely, they finally arrived. Xiaoye, open the damn door. Mao Bufan's fists pounded on the door. His hoarse voice echoed. If you want to live. Speaking into the intercom, I said in a trembling voice, stop smashing it. The passcode is our wedding anniversary. His expression froze for a second. Then he frantically punched in the code. The moment the door sprang open, his face twisted into a vicious roar. Xiaozi, you just wait. I'm coming for you. Then, he and Liu Ryan looked as if someone pressed the pause button on them. Inside the empty living room, only an old smartphone lay quietly on the floor. The next second, my unbridled laughter came through the phone's speaker. Welcome to the real hell. The thermometer on the wall started jumping frantically. 55, 60, 70. The game had begun. At first, Mao Bufan was still cursing at the surveillance camera. He probably thought this was just a prank, and that I would still be like before. No matter what he did, I would eventually go soft. Until you shouted in a crying tone. The power is off, the AC won't turn on. Then he truly panicked. He lunged at the surveillance camera. Zhao, for the sake of our years together. Look at Ryan beside me. She's getting sick. How boring. You can't even hold on for this long. Premier c'est slowly. How about we play a game? I'll turn on the AC for you for a bit. Ryan quickly rushed to shout. I'll speak first. That time you couldn't get a ticket at the airport. I did it on purpose. I just wanted to see you humiliate yourself. Première no dead. Keeping my promise. I topped up 10 yuan of electricity for them. Hearing the hum of the AC starting up. And the moment the cold air blew out, the two collapsed on the floor, panting. But the coolness didn't last 3 seconds. The more terrifying part came. We did food. And without water, they were starving to the point of fainting. And thirsting to death. I kindly reminded them. Behind the piano, there are 2 lockboxes. There's food and water inside. Mao Bufan immediately rushed over and pulled out the lockboxes from behind the piano. But he found he couldn't open them. They needed passcodes. The passcode, tell me quickly. The passcode to the first box is the date I lost my child. Mao Bufan looked confused. But beside him, Ryan's face turned deathly pale. She broke down and confessed. 0915. That time I invited you to go hiking. On the edge of the cliff. I accidentally pushed you. I'm sorry. Sister, I was wrong. Please let me go. Mao Bufan finally understood. Ryan, you bitch. You killed my child. You whore. He grabbed Ryan by the hair, cursing her. He wanted to play the role of a good father seeking revenge in front of me. But when he realized I didn't respond, he squeezed out a flattering smile. Xiaoye. It's all this venomous woman's fault. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I beg you, please tell me the passcode to the second box. I looked at his twisted face and chuckled. The second passcode? The air instantly froze. The two, who were hugging each other a second ago, pulled apart. Mao Bufan sharply turned his head, his eyes fierce. Ryan instinctively took a step back. I ate my frozen watermelon, watching the drama of human nature unfold before me. Just a second before Mao Bufan was about to lunge at her, Ryan suddenly screamed, protecting her lower belly with both hands. Bufan, don't come over. I'm pregnant. I'm carrying your child. As soon as she said this, Mao Bufan froze. The viciousness on his face was instantly replaced by a flash of ecstasy. My child. She nodded desperately, protecting her belly. I coldly watched this absurd scene through the monitor. A second ago, he was performing his fatherly love for the child Liu Ryan had killed. And no. With just one word of her being pregnant, he instantly changed his face. Does his family have a throne to inherit, or something? Mao Bufan didn't love anyone. He just needed a child to prove he was a real man. Then, Mao Bufan actually straightened his back, looking solemn and resolute. Xiaoye. Did you hear that? Ryan is pregnant with my child. The Mao family line cannot end here. Give the food to Ryan. Let her survive with my child. I'll go to the rooftop. Dash-in. He turned around and walked towards the stairs leading to the roof. I finally couldn't hold back my laughter. What a spectacular performance. Too bad I'm the only audience. The door to the rooftop closed. Only Liu Ryan was left in the house. She slumped to the ground, panting heavily, and looked up at the camera. The passcode to the second box is Mao Bufan's birthday. Simple, right? Using his birthday to lock away his own hope. Liu Ryan typed in the code with trembling hands, popped open. Inside were a few bottles of water and some beef jerky. But resting right on top of the food was an abortion clinic receipt. The date showed it was from last week. She sharply looked up at the camera. The ring on her finger, engraved with GY, looked very glaring. GY are not Mao Bufan's initials. She knows very well whose it is. I thought this receipt would just let me enjoy a good show. But I didn't expect the plot to develop even more brilliantly. Mao Bufan died thinking he sacrificed himself for the Mao family's bloodline. Little did he know, Liu Ryan had long made him a cuckold. Cut off the surveillance feed. My revenge was complete. I had planned for so long. Step by step, pushing them into despair. Watching them tear each other apart, heading extreme heat for destruction. But I didn't feel the thrill I had imagined. The feeling of getting revenge somehow isn't even as sweet as this half in the days that watermelon. News from the outside world completely disappeared. Internet signals were intermittent. The city was paralyzed, and order collapsed under the scorching heat. Everywhere was filled with struggle and chaos. However, my life was terrifyingly orderly. My ice cellar was kept at a constant 20 degrees. The solar power was sufficient, and the water well was functional. The supplies were enough for me to use for 10 years. But loneliness became the norm. Time lost its meaning. To prevent myself from going numb, I tried to find joy in sorrow. I invented a new temperature measurement system. 50 degrees was called still breathing mode. Styktypaniaki mod. Anything abovsively called leave it to fate. Until one morning, while checking the solar panels, I felt something was a bit off. That omnipresent, burning sensation. As if it was going to melt my skin, had slightly lightened. It was still hot, like a sauna. But the outdoor maximum temperature was really starting to drop. It slowly dropped to 70. Then, even into the 60s. I sat on the steps of the ice cellar, eating a taro sundae, feeling a bit dazed. This was the last ice cream. The mountain of food was almost finished too. Occasionally, I could connect to an official channel. They started using a new term to describe the current situation. The new normal. The global average temperature stabilized around 50 degrees. The surviving humans seemed to have to start adapting to this world that was no longer mild. I thought life would just continue like this until intermittent news broke through. In some northern regions, the temperature has dropped to around 30 degrees. Around 30 degrees. A temperature where you can just wear a short sleeve and breathe freely outdoors. I'm going to the north. I started packing the essentials: water, compressed food, water purification equipment, medicines, tools, and weapons. Oh, by the way, about those loans I took out to hoard supplies. All those companies have now gone bankrupt. Hee, a successful zero-cost purchase. I drove my RV out of the yard, heading north. A 50-degree heatwave hit my face. It was sticky and stuffy, but compared to the past 80 degrees, it actually felt mild. I don't know how many days I drove, but the thermometer in the car was slowly dropping. 45. 40. 35, when the temperature dropped below 30 degrees. An unbelievable sight appeared outside the window. Green. It's been 5 years. Réalterie. Outdoor. There were actually colors other than withered yellow and scorched black. I rolled down the window with trembling hands. The wind blew in. There was no burning sensation. My phone suddenly vibrated. Survivor Alliance re-established. Currently searching for the last humans.